السلام عليكم. أحب أقدم نفسي. أنا المدرس مساعد لينا حميد علي، تدريسية في قسم الترجمة، كلية الآداب، الجامعة المستنصرية. أدرس مادة الأنشاء للمرحلة الأولى، الدراسة الصباحية والدراسة المسائية. أحب أن أقدم نبذة تعريفية عن مادة الأنشاء and we will introduce it in the English language. The composition is a very important topic in the English language for students of the English language and for students of the translation studies. The general objectives of composition that it enables the students to express themselves and to express their ideas in their own style and their own words. So, how can we help the students to express their own ideas? The students are going to be introduced to the basic skills of writing a whole composition. How can they be introduced to these skills? They can be introduced to these skills through the course description of this course by introducing to about 6 chapters of this book. The first chapter talks about the sentence, how the student is going to form a complete grammatical structure about the English sentence. For example, the students are going to be introduced for the 4 traditional types of the English sentence, which is the simple sentence, the compound sentence, the complex sentence, and the complex compound sentence. From these 4 types, he's going to learn how to manipulate, to join these sentences together to form, for example, a whole paragraph, then a whole composition. After that, he's going to learn about the good characteristics of the good sentence, the good characteristics of a good composition, and by this he is going to know how he can avoid any ambiguity, how he can avoid any obscurity in writing his composition. This is number 1. Next, the student will be introduced to how he's going to write a paragraph. From knowing how to write a sentence, he's going to build a sentence, then another sentence, then another sentence to form a complete paragraph. Knowing how to write a paragraph is very important because it is the base to know how to complete the second paragraph, then the third paragraph to form a complete composition. After knowing how to write the paragraph and how he can form a certain idea and then complete this idea by other ideas, the students are going to be introduced to how they can paraphrase a certain essay or a certain article. Paraphrasing is very important for undergraduate and postgraduate students because paraphrasing is a very critical issue in how the student is going to write their term papers, their research in the final year, and then for inshallah after graduating their higher studies, because writing research papers or term papers depend on how they are skillful in paraphrasing. Now we come again to another very critical issue in paraphrasing or in summarizing the essays that the student can depend on in writing their term papers or their research papers. It's the précis writing. The précis writing also depends on the ability of the student, how he can summarize a certain article, a certain page of a certain book, so he can use it in his own style, in his own words, in his term papers. Also, the last chapter that the students of the first level are going to be introduced is the planning and writing the whole composition. After being introduced to the previous chapters, now the students are going to be able to be skillful in writing the whole composition. Now they have the ability, they have the a great amount of vocabularies, the ability how to paraphrase, the ability how to manipulate the certain paragraphs to make it in their own words, and they can produce it as they can. Thank you very much for your listening, and hopefully you've got benefit from this lecture.